this time, when that season of change is calling, baby, we need to answer the phone. Change is going to require us to develop a lot of untapped areas. So that means we're going to have to develop some more emotional intelligence. We're going to have to develop some discipline. We're going to have to develop setting boundaries. But more than anything, change is going to require us to build some new habits. I don't care if you grab 10 different help books or self-help books by 10 different authors. They are all going to have one very specific thing in common, and it is the habits. None of us has the ability to instantly form a habit. And honestly, if you have, kudos to you. Please teach me some of your secrets. In order to form a new habit, it takes repetition and it takes consistency. But more important, once you have that repetition and once you have that consistency in place, it's about the momentum that you build from that. When you see that momentum like really taking off, that is where your change is happening. It takes 30 days. And honestly, I could even go so far as to say it really takes about 7 good days. 7 good days of repetition and consistency, and you can really start to see the change within yourself. But because I said 30 days and because we titled it 30 days, we're going to talk about that change that can happen literally within 30 days. If you guys like these conversations, you like talking about real glow ups, you like talking about mindset shifting, becoming and embracing your feminine energy, this is the channel for you, because that is all I run my mouth about over here on this side in this corner of the internet. Let's go ahead and get into it. So I wanted to kick this off by saying you can't reach a milestone without micro shifting. Like literally, the two go hand in hand. If you want to reach a big milestone, you are going to have to micro shift, because it takes that small daily investment for you to create the smaller habits that you need in order to create those bigger habits that are actually going to get you to your bigger goals. Small daily micro shifts to have a huge result over time. So I'll kick this off with morning phrases and evening phrases. So the thing about it is you want to have a phrase that you say to yourself every morning and at night, but at very specific times, because the purpose behind this is so that we can begin to program our subconscious mind. So the very first book that I started off with in January was The Power of the Subconscious Mind. And one of the ideas in there to reprogram your subconscious mind is to make statements for yourself right when you drift off to sleep. It's called the sleepy state, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But you say a certain phrase to yourself right before you fall asleep, and you also say that same phrase as soon as you wake up, because when you are drifting off to sleep and as soon as your brain is waking up, that is when you can make the most impression on your subconscious mind. In the book, it said, make this 1 or 2 sentences long, very short and sweet. The goal is for you to be able to say something to yourself that you can remember. So I've at this point remembered both statements, one for career-wise and one for health. Use that. I'm telling you, it is a habit that I am now creating. And one of the biggest things that I am noticing about this habit that I'm creating is it is helping me to set a really good tone over my day. Me saying these things to myself, I'm beginning to notice that I'm naturally moving differently. I'm naturally thinking differently. And I really believe it's because my subconscious mind is reprogramming, which actually kind of brings me into my next micro shift that I've been doing, which is to pray and affirm my day before I even get out of bed, literally before a toenail scrapes on the carpet. Yes, I have carpet in my bedroom. Ugh. Anyway, before a toenail scrapes on the carpet, I need to pray and affirm over my day. So my morning routine, just to keep it like quick and brief, I'll say a quick prayer before I get out of the bed, and I'll say my quick affirmations, and then I actually get up, use the bathroom, come back, turn on my jazz music, and then I actually sit and really pray over my day and really speak certain affirmations over my day. But I intentionally say a quick prayer and a quick affirmation before I get out of the bed, because just like I want to set the tone over my day when I'm saying my statements in the nighttime and in the morning, I want to make sure that my overall tone is my choice. I am choosing to wake up and be the most courageous version of myself. I am choosing to get up and choose happiness for myself. I am choosing to get up and choose peace for myself. I am choosing to get up and stay present in the day. So just by saying some quick little prayers and affirmations, thank you, Most High, for giving me breath. I give all glory and honor and praise to your name. Just quickly saying that and quickly affirming before I put my feet on the ground, I know that my day is going to be filled with love. It's going to be filled with happiness. It's going to be filled with me making the choices that I need to make. So again, that is a quick little micro shift, because normally, I used to be the person that would just wake up, get out the bed, start doing, moving, grooving, whatever. But now I'm intentionally setting the tone over my day, and it makes a huge difference. So just doing that for 7 days, I guarantee you're going to start noticing that your days are flowing a lot smoother. Hold your eye contact for 1 second longer. So I really love this micro shift because I want to work on having that magnetic aura about me. Like when people engage with me and when they come into my presence, they have to know, because I'm setting the standard for myself right now, but they have to know the kind of person I am just from the eye contact that I make. I want people to realize I am a confident woman. I am not to be played with. I know exactly what I want. I know exactly what I desire. And I know that this is my story. This is my journey. And I am not aligned to anybody else's story. I want you to know all of that just by coming in contact with me, talking, and looking me in my eyes. And that is something that I actually used to struggle with. I used to struggle with looking people in their eyes. I would intentionally walk like... I would walk kind of just spaced out with my eyes just roaming everywhere, because I don't know. It's like, when people look you in your eye, like I feel like they looking you in your soul or something like that. And I don't know, it just would creep me out. But I notice when you look people in the eye, it automatically screams confidence, because you can look at them, you can take them seriously, you want for them to take you seriously, you can be in that conversation locked in, giving your full attention. It's a confidence thing. The uhs, the ums, and the likes. Let's go ahead and break this down real quick. This is one that I have really been trying to pay attention to. And if you have been here, then you probably know exactly what I'm talking about, because every time I do a video, I always stumble over my words. So the uhs, ums, and likes is all about slowing down your speech. Again, you want to be able to articulate and communicate effectively every single time a thought comes to mind, and you want to be able to express that. And honestly, I'm going to share a very personal goal with you guys, but one of my goals is to speak on a panel or be invited to a conference to be able to speak. So if that is my overall goal, then daily I want to make it my mission to start being consciously aware of how I'm speaking. Am I speaking too fast? Is my articulation good? Again, just different speech patterns that you can start looking at and being observant of, so that daily you can make those shifts. Another micro shift, replace the vlogs. So this is actually going to look a little differently for everybody else, but let me explain. When I watched different content creators' vlogs last year, I found myself getting very triggered, because in my mind, I'm like, I'm watching somebody else live their life, doing all the things that I wanted to do. And again, that kept me in a mindset of living in the future and not being appreciative of all the growth that I actually have had, because I've had a lot. I've come a long way. Identify the weakness, rewrite the narrative. You can do this at any given time. All it requires is for you to become more aware. And honestly, by micro shifting, doing these small little shifts throughout our day, it naturally will make you become more aware. Like I said, this may look different for you. If you are trying to pinpoint your weakness, maybe your weakness is you're going out to brunch too much. You're going out during the weekday and you're staying out too late, which is giving you poor work performance. Let's see, talking on the phone for hours and then end up gossiping. These are weaknesses that you want to pinpoint so that you can again rewrite that narrative. You can begin micro shifting away from these weaknesses by simply doing or replacing that activity with something else. I just stopped watching vlogs and I started filling in that time with either listening to some type of motivational YouTube video, listening to a podcast, or I will turn on lo-fi music or lo-fi jazz music and I will just sit and vibe out with my jazz music. I certainly will. Memory of the day journal entry. And keep in mind too, this can be good or bad because what I wrote down yesterday was not good. I'm not going to share that. It's too personal. But it was not a good, happy memory. It was something that I needed to make myself aware of because I didn't want to continue to make the same mistakes. And that is why I suggest doing that as a micro shift, because if you are reflecting at the end of the day and there was something that happened and you write that down specifically, it is going to make you more aware the very next day to not make that same mistake again. I love journaling. I highly suggest journaling because it does track your progress for you. But doing a very specific memory, good or bad, it just gives you that extra oomph of self-awareness so that when that next day comes, you're more conscious about whatever it is that you did the day before. You're conscious about not making that same mistake again. Keep your phone on silent except for the VIPs. We all probably have heard this before, but I am going to reiterate it because I used to think that I didn't have time to do things. But what I realized is I had time to complete every single task. And honestly, I probably could add more if I wanted to. But when you are constantly just running your mouth on the phone, you're constantly scrolling on social media, you're constantly sending text messages, and you're just constantly in your phone, you will lose track of time. I've already explained to you guys I have screen time apps on my phone. But what it makes me realize is how quick 10 minutes can go by. Because I have mine set up on 10-minute blocks. 10 minutes goes by really, really fast. And I've gotten to the point some days where I've gotten easily up to 50 minutes, an hour and 10, 20 minutes just because I'm trying to post. I'm trying to find sounds. Then I want to interact and do what I'm supposed to do. It becomes a lot, but it also begins to suck away your time. So prioritize having some silence during the day. Put the phone down, put it on vibrate. Like I said, keep it open for the VIPs, mom, dad, brother, sister, best friend, husband, wife. You know who your VIPs are in your life, but everybody else, put that phone down. Okay, take back control, because when you micro shift and you start controlling the amount of time you're spending in your phone, you will gradually gain that time back. And then guess what? You'll start putting time into the projects that you really need to get done. And then it helps you get to that bigger goal at the end. Now, this next micro shift, I actually have not started yet, but I have full intentions on starting very soon. And it is what I'm calling the simple watch. Now, just bear with me because I'm going to elaborate. We live in a world that has a lot of beauty standards, and it's a lot of pressure, okay? It's a lot of pressure to feel like you have to fulfill these certain beauty standards, and you don't. And that's where this idea of the simple watch kind of kicked in, because I don't want to follow beauty standards anymore. I want to set my own standards. So I want to go in the opposite direction of what everybody else is doing and what everybody else is following. Now, will some things look very similar? Yes, but here is my symbolism behind the simple watch. This is my simple watch, and I've had this since last summer. I inherited this when my grandmother passed away, and I haven't taken it out of the bag literally until today. It's been in a bag with a ring that I also got as well. Now, this watch reminds me of timeless beauty. It reminds me of being poised and polished. I did a whole thing last year where I kept saying I want to be poised and polished, and it's true. I want to give off that timeless beauty, that poised, very feminine energy, that very polished look. Now, y'all know I love my JBW watch as well, but this particular watch reminds me that simple is still effective. And it also reminds me that true beauty can stand the test of time. And it's that right there. It's the symbolism for me that reminds me this is exactly where I am in life. Simple is still effective, and timeless will last forever. So it's a micro shift because yes, it aligns to how I want to present myself to the world, but it's also very symbolic because it reminds me of how I view the world. As soon as I can find somebody to get this watch restored, oh, I will definitely be wearing that watch every day. Walk as if someone important is watching you. When you walk, let's just say this. Your walk says everything about you. People can tell a whole lot about the way you walk. Trust me, I have started paying attention to the way people walk, and I feel like I can make some pretty good assumptions. I have no idea why Ginger is barking that loud. I've been paying attention. I've been people watching because I want to make sure that I'm more aware of the way that I walk. So let's think about this. When you have an opportunity that you don't know about, which a lot of us are one step away, one video away, one application away, one everything away. Anybody could be looking at you. Pay attention to those shoulders being back, that head being high. You know, you don't have to strut or nothing like you're in a fashion show, but you definitely want to walk with a confidence so that people can see it, okay? People are going to see it, and you will get those opportunities in your process, in your journey, exactly when you're supposed to get them.
Editing Toni here. I am crusty. I have no lotion on my hands. I'm ashy, but I could not skip this. I don't know how I forgot to include the most important micro shift that has been helping me. Most important micro shift that I have been doing recently is changing the way that I go to sleep. So I was a big TV watcher, okay? I was a big TV watcher before I would go to sleep. I felt like I had to have the TV on in order to sleep, some kind of noise. Well, that is fine. Just change the noise. So now in my evening routine, I turn on my like soft jazz music to have my wind down time from 8 to 10. But then as soon as I'm about to go to sleep, I turn on some type of dark mood or dark vibe rain sound. It has been totally transforming the way that I sleep. Now I sleep so peacefully. I don't have interrupted or broken sleep. I actually wake up every single day feeling so refreshed and rejuvenated. And in turn, by doing that, I am back to being a 5:30 girl. My alarm goes off at 5:25 in the morning. And last year, I mean, it took everything in me to like roll out of the bed. Again, this was during the time that I would watch TV at nighttime and fall asleep to it. Then the TV would play all night. Then I would wake up in the middle of the night and start watching TV and not fall back asleep. So again, this was during the time when I was doing that. I could not pull myself out of the bed now. And this was a week. This literally took 7 days, not exaggerating. When I started changing the way that I went to sleep, it started changing the way that I woke up. So that is a micro shift that I need you guys to, if you don't take anything out of this video, anything else, take this micro shift because it will literally transform every single thing. You will wake up feeling rejuvenated. I promise you. So if you are somebody who goes to sleep with the TV on, like you're watching an actual show or something like that, stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Turn on some type of like rain sounds, fan sounds. They even have like white noise, stuff like that. Turn something like that on. It'll transform the way that you sleep. So I just wanted to make sure that I put this in this video. I don't know how I missed that. I don't know how I skipped that. I really don't. But I was like, pajamas and all, we are going to put this footage in here. So let's go ahead and get back to the video.
Using mirror time to affirm yourself. So if you are somebody who has struggled with your body image especially, and I personally have struggled with my body image. I've struggled with the weight that I had gained over the last couple of years. Every time I saw a mirror, I would just say, ugh, like, look at how fat I am. Look at my stomach. Look at my cellulite. Look at this. Look at that. And I never would say encouraging words about myself. I've made the micro shift to use mirror time as affirmation time. Even if it's just something very small. Oh, your skin is glowing today. Oh, that acne cleared up, or that breakout cleared up, and now you don't have any dark marks anymore. Just find something, because it's almost as if we're programmed to always look for the negative things about ourselves. And once we're constantly nitpicking and having all these negative emotions about how we look, that begins to trickle into other areas of our life. So it is a small micro shift, but it gives you such a big impact because it's going to train you to truly love and accept yourself. 7 days of doing some of these micro shifts, I started noticing some small changes. After about 14 days of doing these micro shifts, my thoughts began to change. And that's when I really started to pay attention to the fact that the change happens in the present moment. I am now beginning to really understand why people stress so much to stay in the present mind. I really am, because now I'm noticing, being in my present mind, I get to actually sit front row. I have a front row seat to watching me make these changes every single day. And honestly, like for instance, with weight loss, I feel like this is why a lot of people struggle with their weight loss journey. We are so programmed to stay fixated on the end result. And that's how a lot of us stay in that season of comparison. When we're looking at other people, we see that maybe they have acquired some of the things that we desire. Maybe they've lost their weight and you're still struggling. I can guarantee that all of those people had one thing in common, and it is that they took their focus and awareness off of the end result and they put it into the things that they were doing every single day. The significant change in the end, it's always nice. It really is. When you hit that big goal, it's a beautiful feeling. But let me tell you something, that feeling dissipates extremely fast. It really, really does. It will disappear just as quickly as it came. When you can stay in the present and you can make these micro shifts every single day, you get to pat yourself on the back and say, I made a better choice. I'm changing. Look at the decisions that I've made today. When you can get to do that for days on days on days, I would rather take that feeling than waiting for the end result, for my moment to come and go and then I'm over it. I get to actually watch myself change every single day. You get to watch every single day. Watch yourself make better choices. Watch yourself make better decisions. You're watching your change happen before your very eyes. If you want to talk about more micro shifting and you want to dive a little bit deeper into it, let me know. Drop a comment down below. Like I said, I do have my beauty micro shifts. I can't remember exactly what I titled it. I'm sure at this point the thumbnail is on the screen. I will leave a link to the video. You can check that out if you want to. Or if not, I greatly appreciate you hanging out with me on today's video. And until next time, my love, thank you so much.